Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Get to Know OCD podcast. Sometimes you'll have me interviewing amazing guests who will describe what their life is like with OCD and what they've done to really live the life they want to live and not the life that OCD wants them to live. And other times it'll be me talking about new areas in research or new ideas that we're discussing in the OCD world. If you like what you hear on the Get to Know OCD podcast, check us out on the favorite places that you go to get your podcasts, or you can even subscribe to the NOCD YouTube channel as well. And if you're looking for help for OCD or related conditions, check us out at NOCD.com, where we will help you find a therapist that is the best fit for you for your OCD concerns. Today, we're going to talk about autumn anxiety. Now, this is not about someone named Autumn. Let me state that first. This is about people who kind of get into the fall here and start thinking about the year coming to an end. Did you accomplish all of the goals that you had set out for the year? Have you done the things that you were hoping to do? Have you achieved the achievements that you were looking forward to? But there's also physiological issues that come along as well. The sun is setting a little bit earlier and earlier every day, and that we know seasonally can even bring people down a bit as well too. So let's talk about some of the things that you can do to try to get through this season of the year in the best way possible. First of all, we don't all always get those goals, right? As much as we would like to, as much pressure as we might put on ourselves, we don't always achieve everything that we were going to achieve. And let's allow ourselves some grace in that experience. Let's be okay with the fact that we may not get everything done that we were hoping to do. Would you put the same amount of pressure or the same, maybe even berating on somebody else who didn't accomplish everything that you would yourself? I'm betting probably not. And if that's the case, I want you to think about how would you treat a best friend in a very similar situation? What would be okay for them? And can that be okay for you as well? Next, get outside. Enjoy a bit of that sun before, at least those of us up in the northern part of here in the US or anywhere else that you might be in the world, won't see it for a while, right? Where it will be behind clouds and shortened days and things. Get yourself out there and get a little bit of that energy. Walk around, do something, get in the garden, get it prepared for the winter if that's the case. And think about what you can then do toward next year as well. If there are things you hope to accomplish this year, wonderful. Work toward those things. And if there are things that can move toward next year, great. Consider that as well. Know this, that you don't have to be perfect. Even if your OCD tells you that is required, why do we have to listen to OCD? Why do we have to do what OCD wants us to do? If OCD was the great advice giver, would we give the advice of OCD to anyone else that we know? Would we go up to a loved one and say anything that OCD tells us? I'm betting the likelihood is very low on that, that OCD is such a jerk in so many ways and such a liar in so many ways that we wouldn't want anyone else to feel the way that we feel when we have OCD flaring up. Well, what would it be like to then treat yourself like you treat those folks as well? What would it be like to be able to recognize what OCD might be saying in these situations and answer back with, okay, whatever, and then move on and again, live that life that you want to live and not the life that OCD wants you to live. Just because you might not achieve everything you had planned on or were hoping for doesn't mean you are a failure, even if OCD tells you, because OCD is all or nothing. You either did it or didn't do it. You achieved or you failed. There is no middle ground in obsessive compulsive disorder. And because of that, well, OCD only defines failure. It only finds places where people goof up, where they don't do the right thing. I've never met anyone whose OCD has celebrated accomplishments and who has been a woohoo kind of experience for them. No, it is very much been the opposite. It has very much been, yeah, you could have done better. That was pretty bad. You really stunk that one up. That was really terrible. I can't believe that you did that. What an idiot you are. And it could get worse and worse and worse from there. I won't even go on anymore, but I think you get the point. We don't use OCD as a motivator because we know that OCD's motivations are purely negative. They're putting people down. It would be like if you had a niece or a nephew doing a piano recital, you could go up to them before the recital and say, I'm really proud of you. I can't wait to hear you play. Have a great recital. Or you could go up to them and say, Hey, I've heard you practice. What a waste of time and money those lessons have been. Pretty embarrassed to even be related to you. Not going to the recital. I'll be in the car outside. When you're done, sneak out the side door. We'll get the heck out of here before anybody has a chance to ridicule you, and we'll get you home and we'll hide you there. Now, I'm betting you wouldn't do that to somebody you love. I'm betting also OCD does that to you all of the time. In this time of year where we're coming to the end of 2024, well, let's give ourselves a little pat on the back for the things that we've accomplished. And let's allow ourselves to move some things into 2025. And let's celebrate the fact that we did some things, even though OCD attempted to get in the way of it every single step. And let's just be good to ourselves for once. And maybe if you're thinking about some kind of New Year's resolution, one that could be very influenced by OCD of I have to go to the gym every day and I have to be perfect and I have to write all the best copy in the world and I have to do all these sales calls the best way. Maybe instead of all of those things, what if we just decided to do something a bit different? And what if our resolution was, I'm going to work on being nicer to myself than my OCD is to me? I can't think of a better way to end the year than that, and of a better way to start next year than that as well, too. Bring yourself to where you want to be instead of where OCD wants you to go. I hope that that's helpful. And I hope as we get into the fall, you can look up and see the colors and enjoy the crisp air and the smell of the leaves and the changing of the seasons and the celebrations of whatever it is in your family you may do, be they secular or religious types of holidays. And know that while OCD may want to be well, shall we say, the turd in the punch bowl, uh, we don't have to allow it to be. We can be better than what OCD wants us to be. Good luck this season. All the best.